I would now like to welcome one of this year's graduating college seniors from the class of 2017, Ben Rosenberg. Ben attended UCF, where he just graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Psychology with a minor in creative writing. He's headed back to UCF to obtain his master's degree in industrial and organizational psychology and will be working in the field as a registered behavior technician. We are very proud of him.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Basham. There we go. We're good now? Thank you so much, Mrs. Basham. Graduates, faculty, and family, it is an honor to be here, and I'm exceedingly grateful to Hillel Academy for the privilege of speaking here tonight. Around this time, 8-ish years ago, I stood with my closest friends in congregation full of me with my heart jackhammering in my chest. I walked in as an 8th grader and left as, well, not an 8th grader, but not a high schooler yet either. I was in a sort of transitory state, an in-between existence. It was the culmination of 9 years of growth, from a kindergartner to an 8th grader, from a young kid to a bar mitzvah. I was terrified. I personally have never done well with change, and I was convinced that I was entirely unprepared to go from a private school to a public school, where my grade alone had the same number of students as all of Hillel. Naturally, it's been years since then, and I had a lot of time to recognize just how completely and utterly wrong I was. While I wasn't aware of it then, I know now more than ever that how much Hillel prepared me for high school and even college so many years later. And because I know there might be a few graduates here tonight who are scared too, I'd like to pass on some of what I learned and maybe offer a nugget of wisdom or two to take with you. Call it one last Hillel lesson. Firstly, Hillel taught me how to learn and investigate and be curious. Which, yeah, that seems obvious, right? Obviously, school is going to teach you how to learn. But you'd be surprised how easy it can be to forget something like that, especially if high school starts to wear you down. But you must never allow yourself to forget the joy of learning, the joy of curiosity. Hillel's teachers always instilled that in me, and it is fun to ask questions, to learn, to absorb new information, and to develop new skills. And I'm certain they've done the same for you. So whenever high school begins to feel like a burden or an obligation, if it feels that way at all, remember and seek out the joy of learning that Hillel brought. Secondly, Hillel taught me to treasure my Jewishness, no matter where I went. One of the biggest challenges of high school was the separation from what had been the norm. I felt alone in a giant world, overwhelmed by so much that was entirely new to me. And then I started to do something funny. I'm sure everyone here has memories of singing Modeh Ani at least once a week. Well, midway through my freshman year, every morning when I woke up, I would sing Modeh Ani to myself. And remarkably, it made me feel less alone. Learning Hebrew and Judaics here at Hillel was more than just a simple extra set of classes. They were a link to a community that would stick with me forever, no matter where I went. Now, for you guys, that link might not take the form of a morning prayer. It might not even take the form of a prayer at all, but it is there. It is a part of who you are. Always keep that close, always treasure it. You never know when that link might provide a light in the darkness. But if there's one thing that you can take away from my words tonight, it's this. If neither the joy of learning or the value of your Jewishness resonates with you, then this third and final piece of advice I have for you should. Hillel taught me the importance of doing things afraid, doing things despite being scared, pushing forward in the face of our fears. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys, high school will probably be scary at times. They could be from exams, from new environments, or just from a feeling of time passing by. But fear cannot stop you. And it's not a matter of trying to not feel afraid. It's a matter of looking at your fear and moving forward despite being. Now, I remember so many times in Hillel where I was scared. Performing on stage, singing Seven Nation Army when I was in 6th grade was scary. Giving an all-school Shabbat speech on the weekly tour portion, which just so happened to use a song from Hamilton for its theme, was really scary. And actually reciting a tour portion during morning services, I know there's plenty of graduates right now who can agree when I say, that is really scary. So much true. I have a rabbi for a dad. he drilled me on this for months, and I still probably couldn't remember how to recite those Torah portions. But the point is, I did it anyway. You did it anyways. We were afraid, we might have been, but we did it. Earlier I mentioned how when I was in your position 8 years ago, I considered myself to be in an in-between state. Not an 8th grader, but not quite a high schooler. And I mentioned that the upcoming change terrified me. I can't say that my experience is a universal one, but I know there are graduates here who might be scared or just a regular sort of worried. But whether you realize it or not, you are prepared. You are ready. And if you're still afraid, then that's okay. Let's do it afraid. Thank you again, and mazel tov to the class of 2025.